Governor, good to see you.
You too.
I'm glad you made it here to D.C. I know you've been dealing with the plane crash.
Yeah.
What? Any updates there? Do we have a better idea of the cause? I saw it read simply an old plane.
So the NTSB is investigating it right now. Now they did something the NTSB doesn't normally do. They gave some information very early about an engine that caught fire and even fell from the plane right before it took off from the runway. 3 crew members, sadly all deceased. It looks like about 10 people on the ground. It actually thankfully missed a Ford plant, which could have been really bad. It missed our convention center, but it actually hit a business of a friend of mine that's lost at least 3 employees and a number of people who were at the business that day. So, you know, Kentucky is bigger than a lot of people think, but in this instance, small enough to where you know some of the people involved. But it's I walked the wreckage 2 days ago. It's hard.
Are you confident that cargo planes get the same level of inspection?
Oh, we're gonna find out.
Planes? I was just going to say this might be a concern, right?
So I've now been governor through 14 weather disasters, a helicopter crash, this plane crash, the pandemic, and what I'm committed to is learning at least something from every single one to do better the next time. Certainly from our major tornado to our major flood, we learned how to do intermediate housing through travel trailers much faster. We cut it down from a 3-week setup to about a 6-day or a 5-day setup on this one. I want to make sure this doesn't happen again at any airport in Kentucky. So my hope is that UPS works directly with NTSB. UPS is a huge employer in Kentucky.
Big time in Louisville.
They're
I've been to that
very
facility.
important, but we've got to make sure that things like this just don't happen.
You deal with FEMA a lot. You dealt with FEMA now through 2 Trump presidencies and a Biden presidency. There's apparently going to been some dramatic changes to FEMA. What have you noticed in the changes to FEMA that DHS has made?
Well, let me start on the positive side. The workers on the ground have gotten better over the last 5.5 years. The on-the-ground response, and that's working with families, providing individual assistance.
Who are those on-the-ground people? Are they local or are they people
and they come in from Florida and all over the country, and these are real heroes. I mean, they leave their families for weeks at a time to help people in their worst moments. And in the last 3 or 4 years, they've kind of been unleashed to help more. It used to be on the ground, they'd process your paperwork, they'd say everything looks good, and then it would go to some call center in the sky that would make the call, not having looked at a single victim in the eye. We pushed hard. Biden administration made some changes. Trump administration kept the changes. And now that person can approve you on the ground. And it's changed so much.
So cut some regulation.
It does, but it also allows FEMA to directly care about these people and help them directly and know that they're getting the help that they deserve. It's that idea that if you walk by a totaled house, it's a totaled house. Right. It shouldn't be submitted to somewhere else.
Waiting for paperwork there,
they determine.
Then you have your insurance company and all that.
What we've seen on the negative side is actually getting the declaration, actually getting the individual assistance and the public assistance, which helps the governments because these are bankrupt counties and cities, is taking longer. I think after Texas, the president had a change of heart, which you don't want something to happen like it happened there.
And you don't feel as if he's picking on you because you're a Democratic governor. I've heard complaints out of Arkansas, who's a political ally, and Governor Sanders, and it's been slow in the upkeep.
No, before the Texas disaster, before that terrible flooding that took all those children, it was everybody that they weren't denied, but they weren't getting granted the help they needed. It
was like an extra layer. Somebody was taking it.
I think they were looking at a policy change. But they've reversed that policy change, and that's good.
I guess we can be thankful we haven't had a major hurricane this year.
Yes.
Because I think ultimately that'll be the test of how this new version of FEMA works, right?
I think so, but FEMA needs to be there. It needs to be strong. Our federal government should be there for people in their toughest moments. No state can handle a massive emergency on their own. Yes, we can do the response, but you even look at the flooding, any of our flooding, because we've had massive flooding. We've gotten better at the response each time. We had the Tennessee National Guard, we had the West Virginia National Guard. Because of that, in 2022, we made 1,600 rescues in about 48 hours. That's the type of surging of resources that FEMA's really good at and can do really quickly.
Was there any impact in this response from the government shutdown?
No.
Is that good or bad?
Well,
you see where I'm saying, where it's like, this government shutdown is one of the, I'll just be honest, it's just frustrating to watch, frustrating to see. I've covered every one of these, I feel like, over the last 30 years. Setting aside why we even have them, which seems to be an arcane interpretation of the law. Why are we here? Why do we consistently have to be here where we can't have government function basically? Like
well, I mean, the shutdown is causing pain. It's causing pain across America. It didn't have anything to do with this plane crash, and it's important that we point out the challenges it creates, but also where some might be projecting that it's not a causal factor. I mean, government's supposed to do its job. I mean, in Kentucky, we have to have a budget, and we have to actually live by the budget, which the federal government does not.
Right.
We do, though, have laws in place that I think the federal government does too, where you're allowed to fund things during the government shutdown that this government is choosing not to.
Governor, this is just an interpretation by a couple of lawyers. One was in the Carter administration and one was in the Reagan administration, who simply said, government should cease operations if there's a funding dispute. It's just an interpretation of the law. There's nothing in the Constitution.
And now we've got a president that's willing to send $20 to $40 billion to Argentina during a shutdown that says his lawyers tell him he can't fully fund SNAP. And that's ridiculous. Every other administration has funded SNAP. This is the difference between people going hungry and having food. Thankfully, the Rhode Island court, at least while we're filming this, has said fully funded.
If you were a Democrat in the Senate right now, would you vote to open up the government yet?
Well, I think what we have to have is an up and down vote.